The following is a fan-based review. All materials discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, and Saban Entertainment.
Sorry, we're still coming down off of the Gaoranger review. Wild Force, we're doing another episode of the comparison, episode 10 for Hyakujuu Sentai Gaoranger versus Power Rangers Wild Force. Okay, so before we get into anything else, the story is basically a direct translation. There are some things we're going to end up mentioning, of course, but the story is basically a direct translation from one show to another. Apparently the producer and the director and everybody wanted this to be really close to the actual Sentai, and we got that. So, yeah. Openings. I like both of them. He doesn't. You don't at all. Wild Force, Power Rangers. Where's the energy? Good God, we're so dead. Gaoranger killed us. Welcome to our corpses. They're great and stuff. They don't smell. That's great. Gaoranger, why? Why did you do this to... Oh my God. This is like the one year that Sentai were just like, hey, we're just going to be using all of our budget on CGI and stuff. And so the story didn't matter except for Silver's. But we're talking about a comparison here. So I still like both of these openings. I don't have a problem with either one of them. But let's go ahead and get into these Rangers. Cole and... I don't know which one it is. Kakadu Shishi. I just noticed that his last name is Lion. Shishi Ninja. Yes, but the two of them. Cole, it was... I do like how their stories are very divergent from each other. Jacob, are you okay? Say something. Speak to me. He didn't make it. Cole and Kakadu, though. Cole was basically Tarzan. That was his entire character. Kakadu was a veterinarian, and they sort of ended up blending the two of those things together. Jacob will be back with us momentarily. Eventually. Yes, but between these two characters, I feel like the fact since they made Cole matter that much to the actual story with, his parents being killed by Master Org and everything, I felt like they made his characters that much more interesting to actually watch and follow throughout the rest of the show. Still not having that stupid scene where we're just like, I can hear the hearts of any animal. I'm sure I can hear theirs. And they don't. The hands getting beat the shit out of, and that's great. But yeah, Kakadu wasn't bad. It's just the fact that he didn't end up having a lot bearing on the show. Cole had a lot of things with Master Org, and the fact that, he killed his parents, and that whole fight scene between the two of them, and that, I think it was a factory or something, was really good. I really like the fact that they just gave Cole that much more to actually do. So we have Gaku and Taylor. Our last time that we end up having a gender swapped Ranger. Jacob, what do you think about these two? Okay. This one's hard. Because Taylor has that military background experience that sort of ends up translating over from Gaku quite a bit, and the fact that, he had the most experience as a Gaoranger. So does Taylor in this case. She's been one for the longest time. I actually quite liked the character. I liked how serious she was. I liked the whole thing she had with Eric from Time Force, Quantum Ranger, and everything. I loved their little mini rivalry thing they had going on. I really liked her character. She was just, a badass woman, and that really works for her. Only problem is, once again, because of the fact that, you're translating from one gender to the other. I'm not talking about, being a trans person or anything. Happy Pride Month, everybody. But yeah, it's just like, it's really weird because the mannerisms don't always end up translating over. And that's a problem they really had last season with, going from Daimon to Katie. The fact that, Daimon was just like a really masculine dude. So Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, both these characters are really good. I really like both of their stories. Taylor just edges it out just a little bit more for me. She had a better character. I'm gonna let you introduce the next one. You suck. Max and Kai, who has the name Same in his last name, which is shark. I didn't notice that. That's actually really fun. Oshi. Yep, he has Yushi in his name. Black does. And she has Taiga, so, that's a thing. And he's Ogami. Oh, okay, yeah, it all makes sense now. Okay, yeah, but Kai Samezu and Max Cooper. Max and Kai have the same problem of being nothing. That's it. They are boring. Both of them are boring. Max is a little bit more like an instigator with Black. But at the same time, it's just like, I really don't remember anything about your character. Like, at all. That's accurate. Yeah, I don't know really what else to say about that. That's just, be better. Danny and Mr. Ushi himself, Sotoro Ushigome. Danny was a bitch. That was his entire character, just having no backbone as an antithesis to his actual, Bison character that he's supposed to be playing. The energy just something's draining out of me, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, both of their characters, Black, Gal Black didn't really end up doing much. Sotoro didn't. Danny had a little bit more, but he also ended up having that thing where he tries to end up getting some woman, and I'm sitting here like, really? You gonna expect him to get a woman? But that's just me. I'm sorry, I went away. Sai Taiga and Alyssa. I don't remember as much about Alyssa. I think she was like a kindergarten or a preschool teacher, and she's the one at the end of the story who ended up telling the story of the animarium to the kids. She was much more nurturing. I remember that quite a bit. And the sensitive girl again. Not really much else in the sense. Sai didn't really end up having much to do at all in her show, and that's not really a good thing. I remember a lot more about Alyssa. Merrick and Mr. Ogami. Tsukumoto, sorry. Ogami. Gal Silver, he just had so much. I think it's because of the fact that his actor was just that much more believable. Merrick didn't have that. He was boring, and that's not good. Yeah, he was just really, really boring. I don't really remembering a lot about him or his actor. It's just like he didn't really end up portraying him that well, and that sort of ends up translating over pretty handily. But Tsukumoto had just so much more to do, and he was much more of a loner character, like Merrick was as well. But it's just like it didn't feel like his actor was really putting enough into it to make it believable. Tsukumoto did, and that ends up helping out. The story, as I said, a lot of things are translated over. Master Org ends up being a much more of a thing in this show. He's like an actual being instead of just something that's in the ether like he was in Gaoranger. He ends up doing a lot more of the fighting and ends up becoming the main final villain. That final fight, Gaorangers was boring. I believed a lot more of the one for Wild Forest. Cole sends up. I always remember the scene of Cole ripping his shirt off, and it's just like roaring lion and everything. And just like I love the ending of Gaoranger just because it felt I could feel it. Just like I can feel it coming through the screen. It's at me. They end up losing all their powers and everything. And it's just like I loved it. I love the ending of Wild Forest in comparison to Gaoranger just so much more. I know there is one thing you want to talk about, though, Jason. Those anniversary specials versus each other. Quality content. Just quality. Oh, Forever Red. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Let's talk about that ending. The ending of Forever Red. Like, this Gaoranger vs. Super Sentai wasn't that good, but Forever Red, if you don't know, had a lot of production issues going on behind the screen. I mean, a lot of production issues. The episode itself was supposed to be more of an hour. Instead, we end up getting like 30 minutes, and the ending of bullshit, where they end up beating Serpentera with a brand new toy. But everything up to that, like the fighting that they did, especially out of the suit, and then, the two random Reds teaming up together, was so good. That's like the highlight of it. Once they end up getting to the moon base and start all the fighting and everything, it was amazing. But that ending, the ending of bullshit, the ending of why the movie, why the show, why the series, why the production value. That's all I'm wondering. Yeah, Bandai did not want to do it without introducing a brand new toy because it was like, hey, no one gives a shit about these old Rangers. So they were just like, hey, we'll do it if we introduce a brand new toy, and they did, and that's how we ended up getting the bike that beat Serpentera, and we're just like, God. Wild Force is a much better show. I'll give it that. It is a much, much better show, a lot more believable, and the fact that I end up caring about these characters more, except Blue, because, yeah. But, yeah, it's just... Neither one of them are going to be in my top 10 list anytime soon. Gaoranger is always going to be in a worst list somewhere. Because I just did not like the show, like, at all. Wild Force wasn't that bad, but, I mean, it's better than anything Neo Saban gave us. Except the first season of Downcharge, but, in comparison, this time was not that interesting, and we do apologize, but yeah. This is one of those things where it's just like both of these shows just weren't that good, and we're so much excited for what we're going to end up getting to do next time that it's just going to be that much better with, Hurricaneger and Ninja Storm. So we're very excited to do those. But yeah, that's the end of this episode of In Comparison. Jacob, do you have any final thoughts? Didn't think so. Bye, everybody. See you next time.